Yeah, where'd that come together?
Yeah, I mean, obviously JJ leaving Old Man the 3, there's an opening there, and something that they've wanted me to do for a while, but I can't commit to doing a full podcast because there's just so many podcasts. But when they asked me to host the first one with former president, I couldn't say no to that. So on our off day last week, I flew out to DC and got to interview him, talk a lot of basketball, but also talk about the election and using your platform the right way. So just an honor to sit down and talk to him. It's the second time I've met him. I met him with with Team USA before, and man, just an unbelievable guy I've looked up to my whole life. So to sit down with him is very special for me.
Were you nervous at all?
Nah, not really. I mean, I think that at this point there's nobody that could necessarily make me nervous for a conversation. If there was anybody, it would be him. But because we've met before, it was just a very easygoing conversation. We actually talked a good amount of basketball, which is a lot of fun. But as well as the upcoming election and using your platform for the right thing. So it was really a lot of fun for me and a full circle moment for me because I was 8 years old when he was elected president, and when you're 8 years old, you don't really know a ton about politics, but you understand that that's a black man in the most powerful position in the world, and so immediately from there, I was just glued and just loved everything about President Obama. So the fact that get to meet him and get to sit down with him and interact, full circle and mental loss.
How did you prepare for it? How much time did you have to even get ready? Basically, what did you do to? That's a big deal. Basically, how did you prepare for what's coming?
It came to me, Tommy, and the group at our young man, came to me probably 2 to 3 weeks before. When we sat down, made a list of questions. They're so good at what they do. I just had to bring myself and obviously put in my opinion on the questions and what made the most sense. But that's literally the greatest speaker of my generation, of my life. So he makes it rather easy. I just ask the questions and just have a conversation.
Is that in talking ball make it a lot easier too? Just the fact that he is such a huge basketball guy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not the most politically literate person, so I can only talk so much about politics and stuff. But being able to talk about basketball and he really does know a lot. We talked a lot about the Olympics and how we were covering Jokic, and he was getting into detailed stuff, and it was really cool to see because you hear about how much of a basketball head he is, but to sit down with him and have actual conversation was really cool.
Okay, so now getting ready for another season, great year last year. Give me your thoughts on just this team as you approach this upcoming season.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun year. We got a lot of positive things to look forward to. I'm just glad the preseason's done, man. I'm ready to get to real games. And get back to the flow of things. I feel like I never really had any time off, but honestly, I love it that way. I would hoop my whole 24/7 if I could. So I'm excited to get right back in the swing of things and get going back with this group because we did something special last year, but we didn't reach our ultimate goal, and we know what that ultimate goal is. So we look forward to having another special year. So.
Yeah, what is the number one thing that you think yourself a veteran player have been, kind of seeing to the other guys on the team that you guys need to focus on, especially early on this season?
The number one goal is to win a championship. We don't play this game for any other reason. In our league, there's obviously a lot of parity right now. Anything could happen on any night. Obviously, Boston is the gold standard and the reigning champs for a reason. Everybody's chasing that, but there's just so much parity in our league, and what separates teams from each other is very, very little. So we gotta make sure that we're on our P's and Q's every night, and when things kind of start to steer off course, we gotta get it back on. So I'm looking forward to all the ups and downs that come with this season and this group because we're very close-knit and we had a lot of success last year, but the goal is to have a lot more this year.
Here we go. Another round for you personally. Give me your thoughts on how much you're looking forward to this matchup tomorrow, this upcoming season.
Yeah, man, just getting into it. I think preseason, is long, it's rolling. We have a lot of days of training camp, but I think everybody's excited to get back to the real thing, man. And, we're getting tested early on the road this year, but I think it's necessary for us. So it's an everyday thing for us, and get to see this toughest schedule we have early is going to be good. And really test our wills. That's where we're at.
Yeah, you talk about early tests, early going on the road for the first 2 games. Do you welcome that? I mean, what can that do for this team?
With open arms. I mean, you have to. I think that as a unit, we got to such a certain point last year. That we got to prove it again. And can't be no one-hit wonder, no Cinderella story. So I'm glad we're getting this test early to go ahead and prove that with the team that things are big.
Go ahead. I say, just what's your read about how Detroit's changed? With you obviously played against him in Cleveland and everything, and how he plays that team. Are you seeing his imprint already with those guys? What do you see from him?
Yeah, I noticed a difference just in their pace. They're playing a lot faster. They're playing a lot more will. And I think those guys they all have a lot to prove. And, who doesn't in this league? But I think they have their story last year, and they're trying to rewrite their own narrative a little bit. So they're playing inspired basketball.
You guys are all confident about your chances of making the playoffs, making a run last year before the season. After having success, how does that feeling change this year, heading into the year?
Well, my message personally to everybody is that you got to forget about last year. It was fun. It was a run that we had. It was great for the city, but it's a new season with new expectations, and I think that's how everybody's trying to take that approach now. You can't start thinking about Eastern Conference finals this early in the year. Of course, in the back of your head, but you got to take this thing day by day. It's a day by day process. We just got to the preseason. Now we got to get to these first few games. We got things in the tournament. We got All-Star. We got Pro. So it really is just an everyday process, and I think that's the mindset we all need to have.
Find it easy to do that every day?
Of course not. You gotta be an everyday guy. This life's about balance and whatnot. So there's gonna be highs, there's gonna be lows. But I hate when people say you gotta be even kill. There's gonna be highs. The biggest thing is you gotta go through the highs and you gotta go through the lows. But you gotta come out with it. With the battle mindset. So all right.
So close last year. You've been here 10 years with this team. What do you personally hope to give to these guys this year in such a long season?
I think for me, getting bring up last year again, just getting a taste of what it's like to get that far in the offseason. That's really what my main motivation is, just to experience that again and just to show people, what the game of basketball is all about. People have fun doing it.
You talk about the early season being really difficult. What do you think, the continuity, how do you think that's really going to help you guys kind of push through and get on the other side of that?
Yeah, it definitely helps. Our chemistry is pretty strong. I think we spent a lot of time together in this past offseason. Getting that time past Pascal's house in Orlando, and some of the guys down in Dallas. So, having familiarity with the group and just knowing how, we all rock and just knowing that we carry bags on the floor.
Might be difficult to compare, how you feel now to a year or two ago, or maybe 7 years ago. But physically, 10 years in, how do you feel starting this season?
Honestly, I feel great. I feel like I'm in a good place. I worked very hard this summer, to get my body to where it needs to be. They say NBA players age in dog years. So if I'm 10 years old, I'll let you do the math. But I definitely feel good right now to start this season. I'm in a good place mentally, physically. Now it's just about going out there and proving it.
Yeah, what do you like about this team this year? Been in a lot of teams. What do you like about this team in particular?
Yeah, it's the spirit, man. It's the fun, infectious spirit, and it's it makes it easy to come to work, I would say. I think it's just that you don't feel like you're working when you enjoy what you're doing. And these guys make it easy for me to enjoy my job, my process. So, I definitely just, having fun what's in front of me.
We've got to give it everything we've got for 48 minutes and get it out the mud. That's how we've always done it, and that's what got us to where we went last year.
It's never easy to get the season started on the road. What does the continuity give you guys that might give you guys a little bit of grace as you start these first 2 games?
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, a lot of us here have played in some really big games, especially on the road. So going into an environment to a brand new Detroit team, and obviously we know what the Garden's like. 2 really tough games. We're going to need to be really locked in.
Rick was open up with the connectivity Thursday night. It seemed like that was going to be really the push over the last 2 days of practice. And just how did he kind of push that? How do you feel that you guys responded over the last couple of days? And do you feel a lot more ready, I guess, now than you did 4 days ago?
Yeah, the connectivity part is just continuing to get reps together. That's what training camp's for, and the preseason, and the games and stuff like that. But there's been connectivity from last year. We obviously added some pieces, but we just got to add, more chemistry, and that's what we did throughout preseason, and we got to continue to do that.
What excites you about this group of guys you're allowed here as you get ready for this matchup coming tomorrow the rest of the season?
Just a great group to be around, and a hungry group, and especially a group you would want to go to war with. And that's what these next two games are, and this season's going to be. They're going to be wars, and we got to be ready.
It feels like there's as much talk and excitement about two players, Jairus and Benedict, of what they can kind of do to help raise the ceiling. You're in the second unit with them. What's the balance you have in kind of helping give them confidence and get them going, but still playing the way you play?
Yeah, kind of just trying to pick my spots and when to really push it or slow it down and get those guys a touch. It's really that simple. As a point guard, you've got to feel when guys need the ball, and that's up to me to get to them.
What have you seen from maybe those two specifically over the last 3 weeks?
A lot of growth. I know Jairus, he's hungry to get out there and show what he can do, and he's been incredible on both ends, and we obviously missed Ben on our run last year. And I know he's just as hungry to get back out there, and just seen a lot of growth, making the right play and playing really hard on defense. You can't really ask for much more.
Is there one thing that Coach Carlisle has stressed, with yourself and his team that you guys really have to, focus on for this upcoming season? Or something that stands out to you guys?
I think just from a mentality standpoint, we can't come into this season thinking just because we made the Eastern Conference Finals last year that it's just going to be handed to us again. It just doesn't work like that, especially in this league, and we're certainly not walking into this year thinking we achieved something. We're going out there to try to prove that we belong there, and we want to do it again.